It only takes a minute to make the coffee. The pot is on a timer, and it definitely wouldn't stay hot for an hour. I feel really weird now, off kilter and unsettled, and I have a long day of work ahead of me to dwell on it. Also, an edit in this. In my haste, I forgot to say that my coffee pot is set to brew on a timer. I didn't check the time on it after looking at my phone for the second time as I rushed to leave for work, but when I poured the coffee, it was saying 6:58. So he pretty much made a cup of coffee, set it there, went to go get dressed, and somewhere during him getting dressed, he lost an hour, and the coffee was still hot.
Did he go to Narnia? Because,
We need to message him, see if he went into the wardrobe.
For real.
See, I'm always skeptical because you don't really know the person who's telling this story. And the reason I say skeptical is because this person could have had a mild seizure. I mean, I'm no doctor, so don't hate me on this. But could have had like a mild grand mal seizure. I don't know. And could have lost an hour, or he could have been abducted by aliens, or slipped in a time warp. I don't know.
Could have taken a nap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's true too. You know, sometimes like when you take a shower, the water feels real nice and warm after you just woke up, and you get in there and close your eyes, and next thing you know, 10, 15 minutes probably already passed, and you're like, what the fuck? How you're able to stay awake or sleep while standing? I mean, he could have done that while getting dressed.
Very true.
Still an hour, though. That's a long-ass time to take getting dressed.
I love going over these stories because they remind me of my personal stories that I have.
Did you just remember another one?
Yeah, I just remembered one.
Nice.
Love it. All right. So this next one that we have is by someone anonymous. They had spinal surgery and they were under anesthesia for the operation. Then something happened that could be explained only as an out-of-body experience. I saw my body in the procedure from above. I watched my doctor knocking his Game Boy off the tabletop. He picked up batteries that fell out, but one avoided him. When I woke up, I told the doctor the whole thing, and also where the other battery was. The doctor immediately found it. We were shocked, both of us.
I'm shocked too for the fact there's a fucking Game Boy in the operating room.
Yeah.
What year was this?
For real.
I mean, is this the early 90s? What the fuck's going on?
I don't know. Honestly, that's a very weird thing.
I mean,
yeah, let's say that did happen. That is very odd.
I mean, the Game Boy is the thing that throws the whole story off.
It really does.
Not the out-of-body experience. It's a pure Game Boy.
I mean, if I had an out-of-body experience during that, I think I'd probably be watching the procedure just to be like, doctor, you might make sure you get that spot right there. I don't know what that is. That's part of your fucking spine. Nah, I don't need that. Take that out.
It's a little weird if that did happen. I would be freaked out if I was a doctor. I think everybody or anyone would be freaked out.
Yeah.
All right. This next one, is that Dan as in you, Dan?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm interested to hear what this is about. What's yours?
All right. This was my car crash glitch. Okay. Very emotional story. Not really. Just scary. So, I was leaving a friend's house about 2 a.m. It had slightly been raining that day, and I lived about 10 minutes down the road. So I was driving up a hill and around a turn when a deer had jumped out in front of me. You know, being 2 a.m., it's already late. I was already tired. So instead of me, keeping calm when the deer jumped out in front of me, it spooked me, and I ended up pretty much trying to dodge it, going up a hill on a slick road, going 50 miles an hour. I ended up losing control, fishtailing, and I swear I remember perfectly, I made a perfect S on the road to where I missed the neighbors, or not the neighbors, but the people's mailbox. So I didn't get no ticket for destroying property. Woot woot. But at the end of the S, I was heading towards a ditch. This ditch was about 2 feet deep to where it just pretty much dropped right off. Then on the other side of the ditch was some trees. And I'm heading straight for those. And I'd say about 5 feet to the left of these trees was a clearing. I end up going straight into the ditch. I blinked as soon as I hit the ditch, opened my eyes. Next thing I see, I'm looking out the driver's window and I see grass moving past me. And I'm just like, what the hell? Then I blinked again. Car was stopped in the middle of the field. And I'm sitting there just like, what just happened? I was heading straight for the tree, hit the ditch, blinked, saw grass to my left, which there should have been no grass since I was like pretty much leveled. Then all of a sudden, my car stopped in the field, stopped, not in park or nothing. So when I realized that I was in the field and I stopped, I looked, I hit the brake and I actually put the car in park and cut it off and just sat there. Then I got out and looked around. I was just like, what just happened? Because I literally thought I was about to hit those trees. Somehow, my car, instead of hitting those trees, went past the trees and I ended up in the field. Like, I've gone back, I've looked at where you could see my car hit the ditch. There's no way in hell I missed the trees. I would have hit them head on. So it's like somehow my car, I'm gonna say glitched past the trees.
What year did this happen?
This happened, I want to say, I got the car in 2012, either 2013 or 2014.
What if, just coming to mind, what if you did hit those trees and you died and you transitioned to a life that's exactly the same, parallel universe, and they just, for some reason, the other version of you was riding in a field and you just took that over because that was the closest life that you were in that moment.
I mean, I'd believe it.
And then that's why you have some of these Mandela effects.
You know, there are people that say that we don't die, that we just, like you said, transition over to the next parallel universe, that people around us pass away, but that ourselves never do. I don't know. Something worth thinking about.
Yeah.
It's definitely something I think about often.
So yeah, like I remember, I don't really talk about it too much, but the last time I did talk about it, of course I was drinking and I ended up breaking down because I still wonder how I'm still alive from that, knowing I should have hit those trees head on. But yeah.
Damn. That's a crazy story, Dan.
It is.
Yeah, thank you for sharing it with us.
For sure.
Thank you.
I got a driving story as well, but it's not that long. If you want me to share mine.
Dude, tell it, you bitch.
Okay, here we go. So, some of you may know, I used to work in Texas. Actually, I used to live in Texas, so of course I used to work there. Where I lived at and where my work was, it was an hour and a half drive. So I used to wake up at like 3 o'clock in the morning, leave by 4, drive an hour and a half to work, get there at 5:30, work a 12-hour shift till 6 that night, drive an hour and a half back home, and then eat, go to sleep. And I did that quite a bit. And most of the people that I worked with called me crazy for living that far away from work and driving that long to work. There was a lot of times where I would be driving and I would come to and be like, where the hell am I at? When I'm driving, it was kind of scary. Like I would almost zone out and become automated, you know, because I've done it. I did it for, 9 years, almost 10 years. I did that drive. And it's some of the times it was like I teleported because I would like get in my car and I would start driving and then I'd realize, holy shit, I'm driving. And next thing you know, I'm almost at work. So I don't know. Maybe it's something I was like mentally exhausted very bad, you know?
Do I remember you telling me
and my body just took over and I kind of catnapped the whole way. Safe? Probably not.
Well, that happens to me too. So I don't think it's because you're exhausted. Being in my car is meditative. I have a lot of really good thoughts in there, and the music's really good. The DJ knows what she's doing. I have a car story as well. I don't know if you want me to tell it or wait.
Yeah, go for it.
Do it.
So, this story's probably like 6 years old. So, details are kind of faint. But what I remember from it is that my ex-wife and I were driving in a car. I was driving. I'm a very defensive driver and I trust mostly myself. And so I'm always looking to see what people are going to do. So I avoid a lot of accidents. Well, this was no different than any other day. Somebody went to go like cut me off and I had to stop, and I avoided the accident.